I'm so happy to be here. I know it's been a while. It's been 6 weeks since I've posted a video. It's been a lot, I'm not going to lie, having surgery on my foot, and I thought, oh, I'll still be able to make content, and it's no worries, no biggie, and I'll just crawl up the stairs, which is what I've had to do, but because of the swelling in my foot that I'm still having 6 weeks later, which is a little concerning, I haven't been able to just sit at my desk long term. It's maybe an hour here, an hour there. I can't sit here for long periods of time and just work, which has made life really hard because I had some birthday cards I was making, and then I had some art for teacher gifts and cards for them, and then this project that I'm getting ready to show you because, oh my gosh, I've been so the process of it all has been very long. And I will prove to you that I'm not making stuff up. See, I have a cast on my leg. And peely skin on my foot. I'm hopeful on Monday. Today's Friday. I am Friday the 13th. My mom always used to say that that wasn't a bad luck day because that's nonsense. It would bring good luck. And she always had good things happen to her on Friday the 13th. So today when my daughter said, oh my gosh, it's Friday the 13th, that's bad luck. I was like, no, that's not true. Nana wouldn't stand for that. And speaking of my dear mother, it is her birthday tomorrow, first heavenly birthday. So tomorrow is I'm already anticipating, it might be a little rough for me. My family actually back home is having a little celebratory birthday for her. My nephew is in town. My niece is home from college for the summer. My cousins from Cali are coming up for the weekend, and I wish I could be there, but traveling with a cast on your leg is just not really an option. So, and quite frankly, right now I'm terrified to fly. All that to say, so this project, let's get to the task at hand. First of all, I do apologize. I'm a little disheveled, a little pink. It's very hot here. Like the humidity is redonk. Like it's 80 degrees, but it's 90% humidity. So you walk outside and it's just like, my daughter right now is at the pool with her boyfriend, and yes, she's not quite 9. I'm so jealous. I want to be in the pool so bad I can't see straight. Like, I want to get this cast off and just soak my leg. Like, that's all I want to do. I just want to rehydrate it. It's like this shriveled up, dried, dead plant that's like sitting there in the cast. Ugh, so much. 3 weeks ago, they took the first cast off, the surgical cast. And he said, do you want a boot? You could do a boot. And I was like, no, let's just do the cast. I don't trust myself with a boot. And the next day I was like, what in the world was I thinking? Like, why? Because then at least I could open the boot and let my leg have air. That's the hard part. Everything is itching right now. So my appointment on Monday morning, I am just scraping to get by. I keep thinking today's Saturday and it's not. So it's like, okay, I've got 2 more days. I can do this. So, all that to say, thank you for coming back to my channel. I know it's been a while. It's going to be okay. I'm doing the best I can. So I do have a few little projects here and there that I'm going to hopefully do for next week's video. I'm hopeful to get back week to week. It actually may not be from week to week. It might be week after next. It really just depends on the swelling and how much I can get done. And it's summer break now, so my child thinks that she needs to be entertained 24/7. But I have a list. I have a list of things that she has to do every day, like reading for 30 minutes, writing for 20. She writes her auntie a letter every week. But in addition to that, she writes like a journal or something for 20 minutes every day because she's got to improve her handwriting before 4th grade. So that's what our plan is. Project. Let me focus. I've missed you guys. Can you tell? I've missed y'all greatly. And I'm just like, ooh, I just want to tell you guys all the things, all at once, and all the things. So, sorry. That is shimmery gumballs. That's a hint. Do you want to know what we're making? What I'm making? What I'm making, and you guys can watch. Boom, boom, boom. It's a gumball machine. So I bought this brand new. I watched a video. Mariah Elizabeth found one at a secondhand shop, and she painted it, and it was a good size. It was bigger than this one. This one's like it's 12 inches tall, and it only fits 0.62 inch gumballs, so they're the itty bitty ones. But I got shimmery gumballs, and they're flavored, but they don't last long. Like, of course not, because gumballs just don't. But anyway, she did this video, and I thought, oh man, a gumball machine, how fun would that be? Am I getting a glare? Oh, that's her roll of paper towels. I was like, what is that glare behind me? Anyway, so she painted this gumball machine, which I thought turned out great. And I thought, well, I want to do one, but I didn't want to paint it. I didn't want to just paint it, because I couldn't think of anything to paint on it. And I was like, I want to do something different, because I don't ever want to be considered like a copycat. Like, I don't want people to see my channel and say, oh, she's copying so-and-so. She's copying Mariah Elizabeth. She's copying Jackie. She's copying Peculiar Ashley. Like, no. Like, my channel is my channel. They very much inspire me for other things. So I bought this gumball machine months ago. It's been sitting underneath my desk for probably 3 months, like shortly right after I got my channel going. And it just sat there because I was like, well, I don't know what to do with it. And it's cool, but I don't know what to do with it yet. And I figured, well, eventually I'll get there. And then one day I was scrolling through Instagram and I found Peculiar Ashley. She took a gumball machine that she also got at a secondhand shop. I want to know where these ladies shop, because I've never seen anything that cool in my secondhand shops. Granted, I live in a very small town, so maybe that's why I need to go to the bigger towns, the fancier towns, fancier secondhand stores. And all we have is Goodwill and the Red Kettle people, which I try not to shop there. Anyway, so Peculiar Ashley did this one where she actually took the globe part and built inside of it. But she had like these tentacles out, like coming out of the bottom of the machine. So hers wasn't functional. But the tentacles reminded me of something. Back in college, the second time, I was a ceramic sculpture major. And I loved it. Like, that was my thing. Like, I really just love making things and sculpting and creating something out of nothing. I mean, you literally have dirt and mud and you make something amazing with it and you have it forever. And I've made some really cool sculptures, but it's been 14 years. Wait, 13, 12 years. It's been 12 years since I had to leave school, because I lost funding. I didn't have any more funding, so I couldn't finish. I was like a semester away, and I just couldn't afford it. So anyway, so I never got that piece of paper to say to the world that I was a sculpture artist or a sculpture major. And sorry, my skin is very dry. So anyway, but the tentacles reminded me of a project I wanted to do, and my professor had said, nope, you're not doing that. I wanted these big octopus tentacles that sat on the floor and would come up like this. And I didn't want all 8 of them, maybe just a couple, right? Like, would have been really cool. And I had it in my head. And so when I saw those tentacles, that snapped me back to that memory and that project that I wanted to do. So I decided I wanted to create a gumball machine. And let me see if I can find y'all my original. Gotta dig through my trash. I put it somewhere, and now I don't know where I put it. It was my beautiful and lovely sketch of the gumball machine project that I want to do. I don't know where I put it. But it was a gumball machine, right? So I'm going to take this, and I want to put like an octopus right there, and a seagull right there, and like sea stuff. So let's get to it. All right, folks. Hello. Here we are. So excited. Hi. Oh my gosh, y'all. Like, I've been dying to get this project started. So here it is in its box. I haven't taken it out. It's been sitting under my desk for months. Here's the clay, the air dye clay, 60 colors. This is kind of the foamy clay that pops and snaps when you work on it, but it also sticks to itself really well. So I thought maybe this would be the best option because it's kind of foamy. So this is how it comes. This is a brand new one. I've never taken it out of the package. Here we are. So excited. So exciting. I'm excited. I don't know about y'all, but I'm super excited. It's like I said, it's been sitting under my desk for months. And my daughter's like, Mom, when are you going to open this? And it's like, when I'm ready to do the project. But I wasn't sure what I wanted to do with it. So I didn't want to just paint it because, I mean, that's cool, but I wanted to do something a little bit different than what other people are doing. So yeah, I really had to kind of just sit and think it over. So this one comes with like a little key on the top that you replace that screw right there with. And don't you love my screwdriver fancy tool? I mean, I never bring my tools upstairs, and right now I just can't get to them. So this is me trying to figure out how to take it all apart to clean the bowl. Now I didn't want to take the whole thing apart, but in order to clean the bowl, you kind of have to. And then that's the mechanism on the inside, which I was like, yeah, I'm not pulling it out any further. Like, just no. So those are all the pieces, giving it a little wipe down. And there's my daughter's hand. She's like, hi. Oh yeah. And then there's a sticker trying to get off the globe, and it's stuck pretty good. So whipping out the heat gun, because that makes life so much easier. Oh my gosh. So give that a little quick heat up and whip out my other fancy tool, little palette knife, and almost bam. Almost bam. Is it coming? Is it gonna come off? With a little bam. Should be shabam. Oh, so close. Well, at any rate, so we get that part off. I didn't want to put any kind of chemicals on or in it because, you know, this is going to hold gum. It's edible. I didn't want the residual from any kind of glass spray or multi-purpose spray or whatever to be in there. Like, I don't trust chemicals. So I'm like, you know what? It will be fine with, I did wind up getting baby wipes that were like water wipes almost. They were 99.9% just water. And they were fragrance free. So I do wipe the inside down a couple times because I wind up getting clay in it. That's fun. And then I'm looking at the directions, trying to figure out, it says that I can like it says that I can set the thingy to put out a couple, like certain amounts of candy at a time. Like, it said that, but then there was nowhere that it told you how to do that. So here I'm trying to take off. That's the wrong one. There we go. There we go. Fancy tools. So that's a little thingy to make it not use money. So mine is a free gumball machine. And like I said, I didn't want to take all of that apart, but get your head out of the way. I didn't want to take the whole thing apart like that, but I kind of had to. And then I'm trying to figure out which piece. Like, do I put this other piece back in? Because the directions are not very clear. It's very minimal. It's kind of like, hey, you can do this and, you know, take out this piece. But it doesn't really talk about the secondary piece that's in there. So that's what we're doing here. Trying to figure out what to do with it all. And I'm trying to put it back together because that's fun. And it does say that if you over tighten it, you can crack the ball, like the globe. I guess we'll call it a globe for all intents and purposes. So, and then there's like a little doohickey on the bottom that you can fill it from the bottom, I guess. But you'll see, that's not going to be possible. And then I'm trying so hard to like make this work for you guys so that way you can see exactly what I'm doing. But unfortunately, I can't lay it down because it rolls. And then I tried different camera setups. I tried a side setup, which I got decent content from it and was actually good focus on it. But I wind up taking all of that footage out because the background is it's my office, it's my studio, so it's a disaster. So it's like, hey, there's a computer in the background, a secondary desk, a window with weird lighting, light fixtures, other things, crap on my desk. But for this project, you should have seen my desk, y'all. Like, it was an absolute war zone. It was terrible. like just stuff everywhere. And it's not like I could really clean up because every day I needed that stuff. And it's like, well, it's already out. So let's just make it work. So anyway, all that to say, I took out all of the other footage. It was a little, stop putting your head in the frame. Good grief. That's weird seeing, like you can't see my head, but you can see the glasses popping off my face. Like, is that floating? What is that? So this clay, actually, this foamy clay is really great for purposes like this because it doesn't add any extra weight to the Gumball machine. And I was worried about that because of what I wanted to do with it. Like my idea, and there it is. It's like a little sea scene at the bottom and an octopus on the globe and a seagull up top. Like this was my inspiration. That was my idea. And I was trying to figure out how on earth I'm gonna make all that happen. So I go back and forth with this stupid little nut thing, this screw, so many times. It's kind of annoying. So just leave it alone. Just leave it in place. It's fine. Because like I was trying to decide if I wanted that key up there that's stuck up off the top, because that looks cool and it says the candy shop on it. And here we go. We're taking it back off. And it's like, good grief, woman. Make a decision. Now we're putting that back in. So because like initially I was thinking if I just had my seagull sitting on the top, I could make like a little rock up there or something for him to sit on. But then with that key, it's like, ooh, I can't really do that because that key has to be functional. Like my whole purpose in doing this kind of creation on this Gumball machine was because I wanted it to be functional. I wanted it to be really cool and fun and functional. Like I didn't want to just decorate a Gumball machine to take up space if it's not gonna be a Gumball machine. Because I always thought that a Gumball machine, having one as a kid, like I always thought that would be so cool. I don't know why, because none of the Gumballs that you can buy have good flavor. Like they all lose their flavor. I tried to find extended flavor gum. It doesn't exist. Not for a 1-inch Gumball. So maybe for the bigger ones, I don't know. But I did find some cool Gumballs for this that I had to buy because, well, you'll see. It's like I know how it works because this is future me talking. So I know what's happening and I know how it looks, but I want to keep the element of surprise a little bit. The one downside about this clay is that it's not as sculpturally, it's just not a good sculpture clay, if that makes sense. So if you are more into sculpting, Fimo and polymer clays really probably aren't your thing for sculpting. Like it's more of like that's a put together, right? Like put together and bake. And they're brilliant, right? I love it. I just like clay work, period. But I come from a sculptural background using like stoneware clay, that you fire in a kiln and then you put glaze on. So this clay, this foam clay that sticks to itself, but it also doesn't really hold indentations very well. It's hard to, as I dig in the box, like just pick a bloody color. Does it even matter? Uh-oh. What happened? Okay, so we found a color. It's just not a sculpting clay. It's a make it and stick it together and hope it stays put kind of clay, if that makes sense. Because it does kind of ooze back into itself, depending on what it is that you are making. I thought for this it would be good because of the weight situation. Like I said, I didn't want to use stoneware clay because that is just way too much weight on that globe. It's too much weight on the base. I didn't want to risk cracking it at any point because it's not like you could just order, to my knowledge, a globe for a Gumball machine because they come in so many different sizes and I can't imagine. Like that just sounds like a nightmare to me because I don't think that I would. I mean, maybe I would, but then maybe I would reorder it. But then would I re-sculpt the whole thing? Probably not, because this took like 11 bajillion hours. I have 9 hours of footage, and that doesn't include some missing footage, which we will discuss as we get there, because there is some that's missing just ever so slightly. I don't know what happened to it. It's not on any of my SD cards. I searched all of them, including the other camera SD cards that I didn't even use. But I thought maybe in my pain medication stupor, I used the wrong camera. I don't know. But I can't find it. So I do apologize. There is a chunk missing. But hey, we got 9 hours to work with. So surely we'll get somewhere. And actually, it says I have 8 hours and 16 minutes now. So I have managed to get I've managed to downsize the footage a little bit. So yay me. So I'm making barnacles right here. And barnacles are such a weird, and they're creepy. And they really, honest to God, they gross me out. Because it's like, what is that? It's just disgusting. And I don't know if you've ever seen those videos where they're taking barnacles off of sea turtles, those poor babies. Oh my gosh. And like, it's all gooey and it's just so gross. It's really just the most disgusting thing ever. So here I am trying to put barnacles on the stupid side of my globe. Because, you know, if you lose a gumball machine in the ocean and it's floating around at the bottom of the sea, wouldn't you have barnacles growing on it at some point? I mean, I feel like you would. Right? Because that's this situation that's happening. That's the story behind this. It fell in the ocean. It fell overboard on a ship, say. And maybe it was some little kid's thing and a wave hit and he was trying to get some gum and it was sitting on the table and big old wave hit and bam, there it goes. And he's like, Ma, my gumball machine. And the parents are like, well, I told you not to bring a gumball machine on a boat. Like, who brings a gumball machine on a boat? Well, there you go. So here I'm trying to like put some kind of indentation for my rocks. I used a crumpled up firm piece of plastic to kind of try to force some indentation. And I did wind up with a toothbrush in there somewhere too. I'm not sure where my toothbrush is at this point, but trying to find it. Because I wanted the clay rocks to look like flipping rocks, you know, like let's indent them, not make them all looking weird. And now I'm making plants because what's an underground or an under the sea gumball machine without little plants that grew up around it, right? So like it's near a reef. Maybe they were on their way to Wallaby Way and it fell into the ocean and the reef. And man, they are terrible people because they have littered and Great Barrier Reef, and shame on them because, you know, that's having issues. So here we are trying to work with this stuff, trying to make plants was interesting because I kept changing the plants. And so like some things worked and some things didn't. And I think this was one that did not because I don't have that. But hey, we're watching me make plants. Yeah, see, I'm taking it all off. We're sticking it all together because that stuff, that's the downside too, is that this clay, once it sticks to itself, it's pretty much there for life. Like you're not getting it off. You can't peel it off like you would be able to with stoneware clay or polymer clay. Because if you stick it to itself, it's on there. So now I'm trying to like put more indentation. See, there's a toothbrush, more indentations in the rocks because that's more fun. And then I wind up redoing these barnacles because I didn't like the way they looked. Which again, the barnacles are disgusting. I looked at so many pictures trying to make them and they just look so weird. And at one point I was like, does it really need a barnacle? But again, it's sitting at it's the bottom of the ocean. So I kind of feel like it does because it's got, you know, rocks and sand and stuff that came swooping in and the sea storms and, you know, little plants and little animals that live on the gumball machine. Can you imagine? You know, it's like SpongeBob SquarePants. You know, he lives in a pineapple, and then his friend Patrick lives under a rock, and Squidward, the squid next door, lives in what is that he lives in? It's like a mask. It's like a hollow mask or something. So you know, then somebody down the street lives at the gumball machine. Like that's cool. Like, hey man, you got a gumball machine for a house. That's cool. Well, man, we're gonna go have a party at the gumball machine. So here we are. Now we're having a party. All right, now time to add some other elements. We've gone from the rocks and the gross, whatever they are. literally just said it yesterday, like 2 minutes ago. What are they? The things, the barnacles. They're gross. So now we're making a little starfish friend for the side, because what under the sea, I keep saying that, under the sea Gumball machine would be complete without a starfish. And I do find it very funny that as I was making this, like, I haven't watched SpongeBob in years. Me and my son used to watch it a lot when he was little, and it's just some of the episodes were just so out there and funny, and like, I can't. Natty's not into it, and it's fine. Like, that's cool. Like, kids have moved on. Things change. But it's still stuck in my head somewhere about things, because every now and then I'd find myself making something else that was very similar to SpongeBob stuff, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's just too funny. So this is little Patrick Star sticking to the side. Like, who would have thought that I would have Patrick Star on my Gumball machine? We're back to plants. I gave up on the first plants because they were just terrible. So these plants, actually sculpting, plant-like things, like with little leaves. I very much wanted this project to be three-dimensional. I didn't want it to just be very flat. So you will see the painting isn't flat. The creatures on it aren't flat. Nothing's flat. Like, if I wanted it flat, I could have just painted the scene on it. But I don't know. I was inspired by, I don't know if y'all know her. Her name is Peculiar Ashley. She makes very dark and twisted stuff. Like, some of her stuff is really just beyond for me. Like, too many eyeballs and real looking teeth gross me out. But I appreciate her ability and her talent, and she always has a story, which I think is great. So and she's very weird and rambles, and I'm just like, you know what? I dig that, because she is just herself, and I'm like, you know what? I need to be more myself. So welcome. Here I am. Welcome to my weird videos, my myself videos. So I'm making little plants and making everything look fun. But anyway, she did this, gosh, I can't even think of what the heck it was. Like, she does a lot with octopuses. Oh, she had a Gumball machine, and she had put but she decorated the inside of it, and so it wasn't functional. So she did the inside of her globe and it was like an abandoned playground. But she had like these tentacles sticking out of it, and you didn't see like the creature, you just saw its tentacles. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's it. That's what I need to do with this Gumball machine. I need an octopus sculpture in my life. Because when I was in college the second time around, or I guess the third, I did take a college class once, and then went to actual college full time for several years, and then went back to college. After I lost my second job, I got laid off because graphic design does not pay. So anyway, that's what I used to do in my old life, was I was a graphic designer. Bad design kills, y'all. Like, it's bad. So when you make a poster or make a sign for something, keep in mind the three different font rule, please, because oh gosh, it's so hard to witness things that people make, and I'm like, oh, too many fonts. Too many fonts. It's what y'all call them. They're typefaces. Well, let's move on. Back to the octopus. So when I was in college the second time, and I took ceramics, was always my thing, and it was before I decided to be a sculptural major, which is what I wound up majoring in later. But I got back into classes, and I was like, man, it's been a while. Like, this will be so great. And it was a hand building class, and I'm really not like hand building. I didn't like hand building pots and stuff. Like, it just wasn't my thing. But I very much enjoyed sculpting things. So there is that difference where sculpture versus hand building pots and stuff, that's different. Anyway, so I was in there, and I was like, one of the ideas I came up with was these massive tentacles. Like, I wanted 3-4 foot tentacles that sat on the floor, and that they would come up and curve like an octopus's tentacles. Like, how cool would that be? And my professor was like, no, you're not doing that. So unfortunately, I never got to do it. And I could absolutely do it with air dry clay. Granted, they would not be that big. I was always like, go big or go home. Let's make a huge sculpture. And I've made some very large sculptures. So this is nice because it's small. So here we are, back to Patrick Star. I was trying to make some kind of texture because, you know, when you find a live or real starfish, or you buy a dead starfish at, you know, one of the little crappy beach shops, you know, they've got a ridiculous amount of texture on them. Like that's their little bits and pieces, I guess. Like, you know, you've got to have some kind of texture. And again, I wanted it to be very sculptural, very dimensional, very, you know, you touch it, it feels real, essentially. So I did come up with a good idea a little bit later. I will show you. And I think now we're back to making, oh Lord, what are we making now? Rocks, maybe another set of rocks for the back, because I wanted to have stuff on all the sides. Even if you didn't see it necessarily, I want to be able to have stuff everywhere. I mean, ultimately, it'd be great to have like a little turntable or whatever to be able to spin it on, because that'd be cool. And I do have one that I use for baking, for doing cakes and stuff, but it's down in the kitchen and I need a ladder and I can't get up on a ladder right now because, you know, stupid foot. So here we are. So now, yeah, I'm making more, and these are more rocks, not just like, I guess the other ones are more like, almost like a sand dune, but rocky, like a rocky shore, kind of like a tide pool. So when I was growing up, we didn't go to the beach very often because it was like a 4 or 5 hour drive. It was ridiculous. But I think the first time I saw the ocean, I was like 13, which seems crazy to some people considering where we lived. And I'm from Oregon. I think I've mentioned that before. So we have amazing tide pools back home. Like here on the North Carolina coast, there are no tide pools anywhere that I've been yet. And, I miss that because like I said, when I was a kid, you'd spend hours just playing in them and picking up starfish and putting them back in the ocean and saving little crabs and stuff. And, you know, it was great, but here they don't have that. Last time we went home and I took my husband and Natty to the beach, we went to the beach with the Goonie Rock, right? Like the Goonies beach. And by the way, that's 40 years this year. Happy anniversary, Goonies, if you're a Goonie, Goonies forever. So anyway, but I was playing, we were trying to get in this big, huge tide pool that was at the base of that rock. And these people came over and they were like, you have to get out of the tide pool. And I was like, what do you mean? They're like, yeah, it's protected. I was like, oh my gosh, such a jerk. I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't know that. That's terrible. Brooks is like, yeah, they yelled at you to get out of the tide pool. You're not allowed to do that. It's like, well, you don't know. You didn't grow up with tide pools. What do you know about tide pools? This is my attempt at making coral because, you know, we're down the street from Wallaby Way. It's your head and your face and your glasses. And hi, it'd be great if we could see what you're now doing. That's nice. Very thoughtful, this one. I'm making coral. It actually winds up falling apart because it didn't stick to itself very well, but I managed to fix it and glue it, and it's fine. Again, not as textural as I would have liked, because this clay does struggle with that a little bit, keeping texture. Hello, we can't see. We can't see, still can't see. Do you like my nails? They're unicorn, what do they call it? Whatever. Oh, I mess with the footage a lot. I'm sorry. Trying to get you guys to be able to see everything, and it's like, do you guys want to see what I'm working on? Do you want to see me try to put it back together? See, it's a process. It's just such a process. Anyway, it's a unicorn. What do they call it? Unicorn. Can you hear me snapping? Oh, Lord. I can't think of what the heck it is that they put on your nails, but it's metallics, I think. Is it a metallic? It's something. Anyway, it's shiny. Shiny and unicorn-esque. Lovely. I don't think I'm going to get that again, though. At least not for a while, because, like, my thumb is completely chewed up. My thumbnail. Not that you care, but it's just, you know, stuff. What are we making now? I don't know. It's hard to say. I wind up mixing colors a lot because, well, you need more clay, and I was just going through these trying to, you know, make things, make plants. I think we're making more plants. Oh yeah, this is my other plant. I did wind up with 3 plants, I think. Oh hey, and look at me. I just put it in frame. Isn't that hey, at least I put it in frame this time. So at least there's that. I keep forgetting, like, so I'm doing voiceover on my computer. It's my new computer, new to me anyway. And so I have an app on here to, it's CapCut that I was using on my iPad, which I can't use for video editing because these files are ginormous. So my husband, got me all the terabytes of space so that way I can do editing on my computer. Problem is that it goes to sleep a lot, and I'm like, oh, so I'm in the middle of voiceovering and it just cuts out and I'm staring at a blank screen. Oh my gosh, I've been yapping for like 25 minutes total that I have. Oh boy. I think we need to speed things up, so hold tight. So here we are. It's time to build the octopus. I started with the tentacles, which sounds great, and it was. The problem that I ran into, and I'm only going to show you a little bit because there's no point in watching this whole thing when this isn't the octopus I wound up using. The problem that I found with this clay, while light and worked out great for, its initial purpose, not adding weight and somewhat sculptural and all that stuff, is the fact that I couldn't blend the clay together. So, and then as you stick it together, while it sticks together great, it also sort of collapses on itself. And because I'm working on a round structure, there's no way to lay it down to prop up. So when you work with big pieces or any kind of sculptural pieces, like in actual ceramics, you use foam and tape and string and all kinds of things to get the clay to stay while it dries. So, I would have, if I was actually using stoneware clay, it would have held together fine and I wouldn't have needed to do it like that. But this just it collapses in on itself. The head kept falling backwards and then it kept falling forward, and then the tentacle wouldn't stay up, and it was just like, for the love of Pete, like, could we just cooperate? Like, I'm just not asking for a lot. So then I use some little pins. I have these little pins with circles on the top. I don't know what they're called exactly. Maybe head pins or something. I don't know. Not circles, but it's like I can't think of what they use them for. I think they use them for beading and stuff. So it's almost like it has a hoop ring on the top of the pin, if that makes sense. So there's a little ring on the top. It's a hollow ring. And then there's the pin. So I used those because I thought, okay, well, if I stick all those and then manage to keep it together enough to dry, and while it does dry rather fast, and then I could take out the pins and then use puffy paint to fill in the gaps and the holes, and that would, suffice probably. By the time I got it done, the octopus was so full of holes, it looked like Swiss cheese, and it was just terrible. It was a terrible octopus. It's like, good day in the morning. I know I haven't sculpted in a really long time, but my skills are far beyond that. So I was just not happy with it, the way it was coming out. So I took it off, I tossed it in the trash. My daughter rescued it and stuck it in my brush holder across the room. And I was like, no, we're not keeping this thing. It's terrible. She's like, but Mom, and I was like, no. So then I wound up getting a 2-part epoxy clay that you have to mix together in equal batches. And that's the footage that I am missing of building the tentacles. Here I'm literally, with the foam clay, I'm literally balling every single little suction cup that's on these legs, which is a little ridiculous. So so at least with the epoxy, I narrowed down a lot of the suction cups and only put a few on each leg. Like, it gives you the impression without being over the top. And the epoxy clay had a whole mess of other issues in itself we can talk about when we get closer. I actually need to wrap this up because, this is just, I've been talking for 30 minutes. This is a little crazy, even for me. So I was trying to do an hour video. I know that's a lot, but I don't know. I was trying to also show you guys what I was doing. So while this slow person rolls each of one of these little balls, good grief. Did I not? I didn't. Okay. We're going to pause here. So here you go. Now you can see, trying to get it to stick to the glass. It sticks to everything known to man. it will not, like, it really struggles to stick to glass. So I was trying to spray it, but then wipe it down so that way the glass isn't soaking wet, and trying to smooth it out, and it's not smoothing. And see, that tentacle is just not cooperating. And it's just like, seriously, like all this work on these stupid tentacles. And like, I mashed that one in too hard and it lost all of the tentacles. They all bled together underneath. So it's like, ugh, for crying out loud. And then I kept thinking too, like, this clay, I could easily peel it off so that way everything is painted, right? So that was also one of the best things about this stuff, is that you could peel it off. See, and I'm trying to blend it and it's just not blending. I don't know what the secret is, because, you know, the direction shows stuff that's blended, but clearly it's beyond my scale of expertise. used to work with porcelain, and that's like working with melting butter. But this was impossible. It's so terrible. Just like, So I fought with this for a while. I tried to stick the head on. I tried to do all the things. It just was not the way I wanted it in my picture. Like, my picture, I had it very, very planned. And then here we go. We jump to the 2-part epoxy. And isn't that a beautiful clay? I will say that the upside about this is that it sticks to itself much like the foam clay, but you can also blend it better, though I struggled with that too, because it's an epoxy clay, so it's like kind of like plastic, and very hard when it dries. It's like freaking cement. I didn't know that you were supposed to put, I don't know why I didn't think about this, but it didn't occur to me to put saran wrap around the globe so that way I could get the stupid thing off so I could paint it. So the underside of the stupid octopus is white, so you can see it through the ball. So my plan is to just keep it full of gumballs at all times so that we never see the bottom side of the stupid octopus. But it is a beautiful octopus, like, and look at those legs. Look at those little legs. Like, how cute are they? And look at all of the little suction cups that I'm putting on, one by one, but not all of them, because the octopuses don't need all 1,000 of the things. I did wind up with one that was in a weird spot. I think it's the one that's at the top on that curly key leg, because like I had the head and like that one almost looks like a second ventricle. It's very bizarre, but you know, I couldn't carve it off at that point because it was dry and it was not coming off. I feel like I could have probably pried it off at one point and it would have dried just like I have it, except I was terrified that I was going to break the globe doing that, because, well, that's a very real thing. So, and again, I don't want to have to find another globe or buy another one of these, because they aren't exactly the cheapest of things. People keep finding them at freaking secondhand stores, and I apparently don't shop like that at secondhand stores because I've never seen one secondhand in my life. So there's that. But here's the main tentacle that's coming out of the water. You have to imagine the water, because I didn't paint the water in. I just kind of let it go, because it's like, you know what? Not everything needs to be represented, is how I feel. Like, sometimes you can leave things for the imagination. And I think that's important in art. It's to leave a little bit to, you know, to just leave a little bit to the imagination. And then I realized I only had 7 tentacles. So I was like, oh, oops, we need the 8. He's not one that lost one. But yeah, like the clay worked pretty well. And this stuff, you're supposed to have an hour-long window, but I don't know that that's really what I wound up getting. And you have to have the mixture, a 50-50 mix for it to work really well. I did find one part that I think it was when I was trying to make the seagull. I did a 50-50 mixture, I thought, but I think I was off just a little bit, and it was so soft, it was just sort of like melting into my hand. It wouldn't keep its shape. So I wound up not using that for the seagull. So it had its own issues. And again, looking back, I wish I had known about this stuff, like becoming, you know, cement on whatever you stick it to. And then this tentacle was sort of a problem because I needed it to stay out of the water. This tentacle was a problem because I needed it to stay upright, but trying to get it to dry upright with I don't know, like I'm trying to weigh it down. See, it's not like you can put it on its side. It's just like, oh, for the love of Pete. And see, and then there's its head. And there are things like I don't have, see, I'm thinking, I'm tappy. There are things about this octopus that I missed. A few things. Yeah, I'm trying to clip it. It's just trying to tape it because that would be the other thing. I don't have anything to weigh the globe down enough. So, I mean, it's definitely problematic. It just is what it is. And that's okay. It worked out. I made it work. It was fine. It's very tight when I get that globe back on, or the lid portion, because it dried without it. And then I thought, oh, I have a little bit of wiggle room. Well, hey, guess what? Then that hardened even more. I didn't expect it to harden like that. Because, you know, it's a polymer clay. So I thought, it's an epoxy. I'm sorry. It's not a 2-part polymer. It's 2-part epoxy clay. Did I say that earlier? I don't remember. So, yeah. And then trying to put the head on. It was like, oh, for the love of all that is good and holy in the world. Like, come on. Just trying so hard. And see, and there goes his head. I had to prop up his head, which is off camera, unfortunately, because it just kind of I've messed with this thing for far too long. See, and there goes his head. I had to prop up his head, which is off camera, unfortunately, because it's just kind of where it landed. There you go. That's how he wound up with the paintbrush. And I'm just like, don't breathe on it. It's fine. Ooh. I'm like, ooh, he's so smooth and shiny. All right, and now the great paint comes, and I've sped this up to like 6 times the speed. I don't actually paint that fast. Just a little FYI, I am not Superwoman. I just play her on TV. No. So this little fish, I actually wanted to have just some cute tropical fish, you know. So I've got a little, I've got a Nemo. I forgot, Natty named it something, and I can't remember what she named it, but she didn't like the name Nemo. She's like, Nemo? Who's Nemo? And I was like, oh my gosh, I failed you, child. So we'll be watching that this weekend. So yeah, tropical fish, a little, not quite a sand dollar, but like a sea biscuit. Like those are big puffy ones. And then a little seashell. And do you see the little sparkly bits on this that I'm painting over? Oh, it hurt my heart, y'all. Those little sparkles are like $15. So it does hurt my heart a lot that I put $15 sparkles on the starfish just to cover it up. But it added the perfect texture. So I'm not mad at it necessarily. And it's not like I used all $15. I probably used $1 worth maybe. Maybe 75 cents, which art is expensive. These actually turned out so stinking cute. I was so happy with my little sea anemones. So happy. I actually looked up the colors online I wanted them to be realistic, but not, you know, hyper realistic, if that makes sense. So I wanted all of my fish and tropical, oops, sorry, it's rattling. Trying to find a place to put my cast under my desk. So I wanted everything to have a realistic-ish feel with still being kind of fun because, you know, it's made of clay. So I did look up colors and stuff online, and I have a very specific clownfish in mind. Did you know, actually, here's a clownfish fact for you. Let me pull it up on my phone so that way I make sure I have the right clownfish information I found fascinating. So they are all born as males. One female lives with a group of males, but only mates with one of them. When she dies, her mate will become female, and this change is irreversible. I find that fascinating. Like, they're asexual fish, apparently. So, and I was curious, like, I don't know, this opened up other questions for me because I'm like, well, if a female lives with a fish, where did that first female fish come from? Like, where does she come from? But then it's like, well, life will find a way, Jeff Goldblum. So the clownfish find a way. This little fish, this little yellow one isn't quite a, oh, they're also very specific. I can't remember the name of the fish that it was. Shoot, and I deleted the photo, so I can't even look it up. Yellow fish. It's a cute little fish. So we've moved on to the snail. Remember what I was saying about SpongeBob SquarePants? Like, isn't Gary kind of purple-esque? Like, let's look that up. Gary the snail. Gary from SpongeBob. He's blue, but he's got a pink shell. Okay, so he is blue though, so I do find that funny. Again, just, you know, buried in your subconscious. You never know what's gonna come out. But I did want a little cute sea snail, and I like the way this one turned out. His little tentacles, or his little eyes, I guess, those were each made separate, and then I glued them on. And then I actually wound up losing a part of the coral. I don't love the way the coral turned out. I mean, the paint job was helpful, but I don't know. It wasn't my favorite, but then I think too, like, coral is so weird, and there's so many hundreds of different kinds of coral, so you really can't go wrong. I mean, the ocean is just it's a weird place. I don't swim in the ocean, but I feel like for obvious reasons, because you can't see, and you don't know what's down there, and something's gonna eat you eventually. So there's that. I will say I got the Mariah Elizabeth paint set. I bought that for myself for Mother's Day. And I do like them a lot. They're really beautiful colors. They are all pastel, like very, you know, kind of fruity-esque pastels. They're really pretty. That's a good quality. So if you are an artist, and they're big tubes too. So, I mean, you've got a lot to work with. I think this was strawberry, the strawberry pink. If you're looking for good quality acrylic paint and you want to try something fun, get hers. They are lovely. Ooh, all right. So I do have some of this 2-part epoxy to show, thankfully. This is after the fact. Like, obviously the octopus is fine. So you take this 2-part epoxy. Yeah, that's right. 2-part epoxy, and you cut off. It would probably work out really well if I had a scale in my studio. For this, I didn't get quite enough. It wasn't like a 50-50 situation. And I tried really hard, but I just couldn't get the mix quite right. And so it was really squidgy and soft. And then, I mean, it looks about right? But yeah, I mean, if you're going to use that, use a scale. And I used gloves, but I don't know. It said to use water on your hands, and so to prevent stickiness. And so I'd spray my hands and work with that and the gloves. But I don't know. There's some people who can't handle the chemicals, and the chemicals are probably not great for you. I mean, let's be honest. It's a chemically based clay. Unlike like stoneware is all natural minerals and stuff. So I do feel better about that kind of stuff. And here I am trying to balance the stupid globe, which I'm trying to kind of soften those edges right there. And do you see that weird little, it's right there at the top by the head, weirdly placed suction cup. Like, I wish I could have taken it off, because I was like, it looks super bizarre. Looks like he's got a 3rd ventricle. But I made it work, I guess. I should have covered it up. That's what I could have done. Come on, Jules. Get it together, woman. But this worked out pretty well. Trying to kind of just blend in the legs and the head and stuff, and kind of try to make his head a little bit, I don't know, to bring in some texture. So I wind up putting that on his already dried head. So it kind of worked out. But yeah, it's just, I don't know. I was laying in bed the night before thinking, oh my gosh, I forgot his ventricles, and I forgot to blend his legs, and I forgot to do this, this, and this. So that's what we're doing here. So we're blending him all together, and he's got angry eyes because he's an angry octopus. You'll see why. All right, so here's the bird that I made with the other half of that ball of clay. And remember, I did say it didn't come out well because it kind of kept sinking into itself, like it got just too soft. Because I think I got the ratios off. And let me just tell you that making teeny tiny little legs for frickin' seagull was the hardest part of this entire project, were the stupid bird's stupid little spindly legs, because they were insane. I made them like 6 times. I kept trying to make them with wire and clay and stick the feet on, and I had pictures of blown up seagull feet, so that way I had them very specifically done. And you know, they looked right and this, that, and see, I'm trying to put the legs on. And that just did not work, because then, I don't know, it was one thing after another with these stupid feet. Like I said, I think I remade the feet 6 times, and now I'm trying to like fix the bird again because it has squished into itself, and that just not gonna work out. Just stop wasting your time, woman. See, I'm trying to put him on the little key. So yeah, like not great. But I did have a little foam bird that worked out really well. Oh, let me clean up my space for you, because that's helpful. What in the world? Okay, now we're back to the octopus face. Alrighty. So now I'm like trying to get that lid on. And remember, I did say at the beginning, like, gosh, I wish I could have gone back and put the lid on with a stupid little arm and like use some tape or something. Like, I was trying to get that bowl to sit flat, because with all the weight of this, 1,000-pound octopus. I mean, granted, it doesn't weigh that much, but it does pull the bowl. It sounds weird all of a sudden. The globe off to one side. So it's a little frustrating. And like I said, the lid fit, I think, at this point, and then it dried a little harder, and now it's like crazy tight at the end. But that's fine. We're making it work. It's gonna be like a purpley octopus. And octopuses come in such cool colors. I mean, any color you can imagine, and there's an octopus. There's actually a guy I follow on Facebook, and he's got pet octopuses. And he just got this new one, Rosie, and she is super spindly, and she's got eyes kind of like a snail that pop up off of her head, which is so bizarre because it's like, that's crazy. And eyes, like octopus eyes, are really very particular to them, like the eye shape and the color, and each one is a little bit different. So I did struggle a little bit with the eyes, but we're cruising right along painting him, and I think it turned out good. It's just, I don't know, like, I'm just frustrated about the bottom part. I wish I could go back in time. If I had a time machine, I would put saran wrap underneath him. I don't know what I was thinking. Granted, I've never used this clay before, and I had it very wrapped in my head that I could pull off the foam clay, like just pop it right off, which I did, to let it dry underneath. And I guess I had just forgotten what actual clay feels like, and it's been a long time. It's been a while since I've done anything with ceramics. So even though this is like, not clay that I normally work with, it's still very ceramic-y-esque. And then this is like the super fun part where, see all that blobs of paint on the globe? I gotta peel that off. I gotta scrape it, and it's fabulous and so much fun. Oh my gosh. So here I am, the most tedious process of the whole thing. The bird was the hardest part, but this, oh man, this like really tested my patience. I'm not a super patient person when it comes to things like this. I'm just like, kind of like a bear or a bull in a china closet. I've had exes call me. So it's like, all right, well, I don't know. The patient people in art, you can always tell, like their stuff is very pristine and very perfect looking. And, I'm kind of like, it's fine, it'll work. But now we move on to glazing, because you got to glaze your work and make it so it'll last and give it a little pop of shine. But don't those all look so good together? Like, check my rocks out and stuff. Like the painting, I think, turned out really well. I'm really happy about the way they all turned out. So yeah, just moving right along, making sure to glaze and cover everything so that way, you know, with use, granted, or with age, it doesn't come apart, or, you know, the paint chip and stuff, because God only knows what the paint and the foam is going to do as the years move on. But yeah, I am really excited about how all of these turned out. I think they turned out great. Back to the bird feet. Remember, I did say, and I've said it numerous times, these were the hardest stupid feet, or hardest part of this whole project. Stupid bird and its stupid little feet. So here I'm just like, you know what? To heck with it. I don't need these wires to be covered in clay. I'm just gonna paint them as is. So that's exactly what I did. I stuck those in with the feet. I've glued down. So there's my seagull. I've glued them down onto the top. Well, I tacked it down, I should say. I haven't glued them down because I do need to. I need to paint them, right? So now we've got teeny tiny little wiry feet. Oh, good Lord. They're just such a process. So we gotta glue the feet to the wires and add paint. At this point, I'm kind of like, maybe I should just dip them. Like dip all the teeny little parts just into that little pot of clay, or pot of paint. Like, wouldn't that have been just so much easier? I think I wound up like 5 coats on these little legs because, you know, wire. And they kept popping off. Like the paint kept kind of flaking off a little bit because I didn't sand them. I didn't sand the wires, which I probably should have, or at least gessoed them. I don't know. Like at this point, I was just mad at the stupid bird and been like, you know what? Maybe I should just perch you up there with no feet at all. Like you've got your feet tucked up underneath you. I thought about it. But then I was like, no, because that isn't what my vision was. I'm trying to stick with the vision. I do feel like I mixed a really beautiful color for his beak. Like it was really perfect. And he did come out really cute. I like his little face. All right, back to scraping, because that is super fun. Gotta scrape all the paint. Now we gotta finish this stupid bird. So this part was fun, like sticking his little legs in. It's like, all right, buddy, you get your legs. You can go walk and squat on stuff and perch and do all the things. So, and then this is like my fancy way of trying to get it all to stay together, because again, when you work in ceramics and stuff, you have to makeshift a lot of things to hold pieces in place until they're dry or until they attach. And because like the foam kind of moves in shape a little bit with drying, like if you remove it. So I removed it probably before I should have, to let the bottom side dry, because this thing took 2 weeks to make and 90 bajillion hours of footage. So I wanted to just get on with my life and clean up my table and all of that. So this is how I fix that. So I have a paper towel and I've been using artist tape or masking tape, whichever you have, to hold the paper towel in place while it dries. Now I'm like zhuzhing up my little octopus friend because he needs some zhuzh, because his little suction cups are a little bit different color. His ventricle is a different color. Stupid suction cup that's on by his head is so annoying to me. I'm just like, if I could go back, I would cover that up in some way. I don't know, maybe he's got a growth on his head or something, but maybe he's, it's fine. I'm making it work. It's fine. Things with the plants and more gluing. Hey, the seagull actually turned out pretty cute, don't you think? I think it's cute. So I'm trying to get his little beak right. He's got like a little red patch underneath his lips. Like on the bottom of his beak or whatever. So I'm trying to get him very, particular with his little face. I didn't put like his beak portion, like his mouth, like his actual mouth part, but I think it turned out cute just the same. So I was okay. And he stands up, so hallelujah. It's a little tiny face on a little tiny bird. I think the bird is really stinking cute, I have to say. He's probably one of my favorites. I mean, aside from the awesome octopus with the extra ventricle on the back of his head. I think he turned out really good. So I'm just trying to get all the last little bits finished. See, and remember I put sparkles on this? Well, I didn't like the way it turned out. You couldn't see the little decoration on it, so I pulled those off. Another waste of sparkles. Repainted it. And then, yeah, glazed it. What am I doing? Oh, I'm just adding a little bit more detail to the octopus and trying to get this bad boy finished. Use a lot of colors and a lot of just kind of textural quality in the paints because, again, I didn't want this to be like flat looking art. I didn't want it to be cartoon-like. I kind of wanted it to have a little bit of a realistic vibe. So, and these eyes, man, these eyes gave me a little bit of a fit. I had to go buy that fancy brush. See the bend in it? I had to go buy that tiny little fancy bent brush for this exact purpose. And I was like, oh, for real, good grief. I had to buy new tools for the scraping because I had one shaped X-Acto knife and I needed different ones and they still weren't tiny enough to get in all the little cracks and crevices with where I needed to scrape the paint. But I made it work because that's what I do. So adding little dots around his eyes because they all have kind of a textural quality around their eyes for the most part. So making it work. It's the story of my life. This part was probably one of my favorites, I gotta say. So I found miniature rocks at Michael's. Like, I mean, really, miniature rocks? Come on, folks. But I mix it with glue and a little bit of like a three-dimensional Mod Podge stuff. And I just placed all of these little rocks and pebbles around the bottom to give it that texture that I like and a little bit of the kind of like a real seascape quality. Because again, it fell into the ocean. Stupid boy, stupid kid, brought it out on a boat. Who brings a friggin' gumball machine out on a boat? This stupid kid. And now he's polluted the earth and the planet and the oceans and the Great Barrier Reefs. But these creatures, you know, they're living, they're making their best life. And so this was sort of, I was like, am I really placing rocks with a toothpick or with tweezers? Yes, I am, folks, because I wanted to fill in some of the little gaps that I had. And again, little more realistic quality. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. I have to say, of all the things that I have made recently, this is by far the best thing that I have created, and I legit cannot remember how long. I really am bummed about like camera ability and visibility on this for y'all. So I do apologize. It's just gonna have to be, well, it's as good as it gets because I don't have like a picture setup. So, you know what I mean? Like a light box situation. It's really what I need is a light box, but it's just only worth it. So we're just doing the best we can. I apologize, but it's great. It's as best as I can do. So are you ready? Are you ready to see it? I just filled it up to the tippy top with all the gumballs. Check it out. Oh, hang on. Gotta move my mic stand, which is really just a cup of paintbrushes and stuff with my microphone attached. I am fancy here, y'all. Can you tell? So check it out. Got my seagull and the octopus is amazing. Like, truly. Like, it just... Oh, I wish I could get it better for you guys. I'm sorry. What else I can do? Like, rocks. It's awesome! I'm so happy! Like, this has been sitting on my on my bookshelf underneath some postcards that I like, artsy postcards that I got from the beach last time we were there. And they're lighthouses because my husband proposed at the top of the lighthouse. So I'm a little sentimental with the lighthouses. So anyway, I have these and they're in frames and they've been on my wall forever. And when I was trying to find somewhere to put this bad boy, I was like, well, I'll just put it on the shelf, and then realized where the photos or the art cards were. I was like, oh my gosh, this is perfect. So every time I'm sitting at my desk and I look over, I do wish it was a little bit closer or like in the background maybe, but maybe for the next studio, that would be awesome. But anyway, I hope y'all like this project. I know the video is a little bit longer than normal, but it really wasn't a great place to break it in half and make it 2. Because I was like, oh, I could do that and like 2 back-to-back videos. Hey, that's nice. That's not what we did because I couldn't have my thought. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this. This project was awesome for me. I was so happy. And look, like I can get gum now. I'm gonna hold it up so I don't drop it. One gumball at a time. Ta-da! Where's the thingy? There it is. Ta-da! Gumballs! 2 minutes or 30 seconds of flavor for everybody. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this. And I hope you guys are creating beautiful things and putting them out in the world, because that's what we have to do right now. So, yeah. So until next time, which I'm hoping is next week, but until next time, go create beautiful things. Go create something beautiful and put it out in the world. And just be kind, guys. And until next time, I will see you later.